Hello and welcome to another edition of the Supreme Wrestling Federation Aftermath. I'm your host Chris Carnage, and tonight we will figure out if Eric Eisen has any friends in this locker room, as he will take on Remo, Rogue, and Angry Gilmore in the main event. So let's get started. We have a pre-show promo with Joe Sexy, get him a little screen time. It's on the pre-show. Doesn't really matter what he says. He's, oh, I'm sexy and this is great and I'm great and blah blah whatever. And we see Knuckles returning for a match. And Sexy beat him with a one night stand. Alright. And now we see Eric Eisen come down to the ring. And he starts complaining and he's pissed off that he has to face 3 guys tonight. He thinks it's unfair. He shouldn't have to be facing 3 guys. He doesn't know what he did to ever deserve this, and he wants answers right now. So out comes Vengeance. As soon as Vengeance gets into the ring, Eric Eisen backs out and he's waving them off and no, 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 no. I've got too much on my hands tonight. I'm not dealing with you. And he heads to the back while Vengeance holds the ring as we go into our next segment, which is Jimmy Hernandez versus Everest in a 54C minus. Hernandez defeats Everest in 541 by pinfall with a super kick. Hernandez just picks up a win over a rather large individual. Trying to figure out what the right program would be for him so we can actually get him in a meaningful match on a pay-per-view as opposed to a meaningless match on TV just to get him some victories. And now we have Eric Eisen backstage talking to Monty Trescar. Hey man, I know you got a lot of money. Look, I'm the world champion. Understandably, you would want to be associated with me. How about you help me out tonight and you lend me the Pain Alliance in my main event tag team match tonight? Monty goes, Eric, you know, you're right. I would love to be associated with the world champion of this company, but unfortunately, Pain Alliance are already in a match tonight, so I'm sorry I can't help you. And Eric looks a little bit frustrated at that answer as Monty walks off. Here we have Jack Bruce, and he's cutting a promo on Crippler. He says, Crippler, I got my hands on you for a brief moment like a coward. You got yourself disqualified because you didn't want to face a real man. You didn't want to face me face to face. You just want to do your sneak attacks and get me when I'm not looking. We will have a rematch, and it will be in a cage. There will be no running. There will be no getting yourself disqualified. Now we have the Amazing Bump Holes versus the Reformed Southern Comfort. Obviously, he's not Kentucky Bill. He's Oliver Cobb. But it's still the same 2 guys, Marshall Dillon and him. And a 71B minus, the Bump Holes defeat Southern Comfort in 8 minutes and 6 seconds when Zimmy defeats Marshall Dillon by pinfall with a bump hole and 1. Just to get the Bump Holes back on the winning track after losing to the Awesomeness at the when Hell Freezes Over. Likely going to go with the rematch there because of the screwy finish. So kind of want to build them back up a little bit. And then here, Huey and Jefferson come out and they basically run down Randy and Zimmy yet again using the trademark arrogance. Once again, you guys could barely be a terrible tag team. Those guys are the bottom of the totem pole and you barely scraped away with a victory. And you two really think you can beat us, the cream of the crop, the number 1 guys in this division? Y'all have lost y'all's mind. We head to the next segment. We see Eisen backstage again, this time trying to talk to Frederick Antonio Garcia. Look, man, you know, your partner was in a match here not too long ago. I know you got to be itching to get back in the ring, so what say you come join me and team up with the world champion in tonight's main event? And Frederick's, I don't know, brushing his hair, fucking rubbing his face, maybe putting on some blush, or whatever a platinum blonde, a fabulous heel would be doing. And he kind of flips his hair back and he just looks over at Eric. I don't want to be seen with you. Please leave. And then Eric, he doesn't understand, and he walks away shaking his head like, who the hell is this guy to turn down an offer from the world champion? And now we have that aforementioned Pain Alliance in action against the Hero Squad. The Hero Squad came down to save Mikey James last week. Jerry Eisen granted a match for this week's episode of Supreme TV, and a 72B minus Pain Alliance get disqualified while fighting Jungle Lord. The way I see this going, the Pain Alliance aren't out here to win the match. They're out here to make a statement. They're out here to say anybody who goes against us, who goes against Monty Trescard, will face consequences. So Big Smack Scott has Jungle Lord over in the corner. He's sitting, and he's just welling away with punches. Just punch, 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 punch. The referee tries to separate them, and Big Smack Scott's having none of it. So the referee at that point has no choice but to disqualify them. Meanwhile, Kurt Laramie is on the outside throwing Captain Atomic into whatever is around the ring, steel stairs, the barricade, the announcer table, just beating the bloody hell out of these two guys. And at that moment, Kurt Laramie comes into the ring. He takes off that chain that's wrapped around his neck, wraps it around his hand, and starts welling away on Jungle Lord in the corner. And by the time he's through, Jungle Lord's face looks like hamburger meat. It's just been beat to shreds, battered, bruised, bloody. He's just a wreck. He's totally destroyed. So then, Mikey Law comes down to try to save them, but he doesn't get very far, because as soon as he comes out there, the Pain Alliance have already beaten down on the Hero Squad, and then they quick work of Mikey Law. Monty comes into the ring as he's accompanying Big Smack Scott and Kurt Laramie to ringside. Now he's basically their manager. And they give Mikey the same treatment, put him in the corner, and just start welling away till his face looks like hamburger meat as well. And Monty grabs the mic. He said, Mikey, you should have just joined me. This could have all been avoided. We could have been fighting the good fight. We could have been making this company what it should have been, and instead you oppose me. This is what happens when you oppose me, Mikey. And he throws the microphone at him as he and the Pain Alliance exit towards the back. So now we have Eric Eisen going up to Bear Bukowski. Same thing. Hey Bear, why don't you join me tonight's main event? And finally he gets somebody to say yes. Bear Bukowski will join Eric Eisen. And now he has at least one partner. Now we have Joey Morgan versus Hollywood Brett Starr. I was going to make this a title match. However, Joey Morgan is not in possession of his title, so therefore it cannot be a title match because the title cannot be handed to the winner. But that's also part of the story, so follow me here. A 70C plus Hollywood Brett Starr defeats Joey Morgan in 11 minutes and 1 second when Joey Morgan got intentionally counted out. During the match, we also had Paul Huntington distract Morgan. So I don't want anybody to get confused. Morgan wasn't losing this match. The way I see it playing out is Morgan's basically taking it to Hollywood Brett Starr. Starr's the overconfident, arrogant, cocky guy who thinks just because his dad won some world titles, he should be granted all the opportunities and everybody should treat him like a big shot. As we saw a couple of weeks ago, Morgan is making quick work of him, but towards the end of the match, probably around the 10-minute mark, I'll say, Huntington comes up on the big screen at the top of the stage, and he's just kind of taunting Morgan. Hey Joey, you got your title right here. Why don't you, he looks at it for a minute, shines it up a little bit, holds it up right into the camera where all you can see is the title. Why don't you come get it? And then Morgan leaves the ring and he heads backstage trying to find where the hell Paul is so he can get his belt back that he didn't lose. Morgan is still the champion. Paul just stole the belt. So then Hollywood's pissed off about this and he grabs a mic. He goes, I'm sick of this. I'm sick of everybody treating me like I'm not a big deal. My family's name is practically royalty around this place. My father won the world title. He was one of the first guys to win that belt. And I get no respect. This is unbelievable. Not only was this match not for the title, but Joey Morgan just leaves. He was sharing a ring with me, with Hollywood Brett Starr, and he just walks away from the match. All because of this Paul Huntingdon, this asshole. He has the title. He's not even the champion. He can't even beat Joey Morgan. I just beat Joey Morgan. I should be the champion right now. It should be me. I want that title, Joey, Paul, whoever has it. I don't care. Nobody's treating me with any respect. I will make everybody respect me. So now we have Eric Eisen again backstage trying to recruit Brandon James this time. And he's, look, Brandon, I know you're one of the big shots here. I really need some help tonight. And Brandon James lowers his sunglasses and looks at him. What the hell do you want, Eric? Well, like I said, I need somebody else, Brandon. I got Bear Bukowski, but it's still 3-on-2. I need one more guy, so, you know, I know you've wanted a title shot for a long time. Brandon James holds his hand up. Wait a minute, Eric. If you think I'm going to team with you just so I can get a shot at that title, you've got another thing coming, Jack. I should have already had that title if it wasn't for Valiant. I'm worried about Valiant right now. Whenever I'm through with him, you can rest assured I'll be coming for that belt, and I don't need your help to get it. And he kind of gives him a shove on his shoulder and pushes him back. So now we see Valiant out in the ring, accompanied by the beautiful Hannah, of course. And Valiant's responding to Brandon James' promo of last week. He says, you know, if anybody should be ashamed, it's Brandon James and that wretched witch, Chrissy Angel. She's cost me 2 matches now. 2! I was on my way to beating Big Money Brandon James both times when she got up on the apron and she cost me the match. I will get retribution. Brandon, I will beat you. Whether she interferes or not, it's not gonna matter. You can't stop me too much longer. So Valiant's kind of stepping up a little bit. He's taking the high road. He's not necessarily blaming the losses on Chrissy at first, you know, maybe a little bit, but then he comes back and he kind of wipes that all away, saying, regardless of what happens, I'm going to get the victory. So here we have Eric Eisen. He's backstage before the match, and he's very upset. I shouldn't have to be facing these 3 guys. I didn't do anything to them. It's unfair. I've only got one partner, and I'm being forced into this match. This is ridiculous. So then we see Eisen and Bear Bukowski take on Remo, Gilmore, and Rogue in a 78B. The 3, of course, beat Eisen and Bukowski. Gilmore picks up the pin on Bear Bukowski with the anger management. But towards the end, Eisen's barely in this match at all. As soon as he senses the trio getting the upper hand, he tags out. And towards the end, Bear's coming down to get attacked as he's in a rough spot. Eisen leaves, gets off the apron, and slowly walks up the ramp as Bukowski takes the anger management and the pinfall. But as soon as the match ends, we see Vengeance come out on the stage. So Eisen turns around and he's staring right up at Vengeance. He doesn't know what to do. Vengeance makes that choice for him. He runs and he gives him a big boot, and then he drags him into the ring, and then everybody hits their finish on Eric Eisen. Gilmore hits him with the anger management, Remo hits him with the destroyer, Rogue hits him with whatever the fuck his finish is, and then Vengeance gives him a major choke slam, and he's standing over Eisen to end the show. So that's all for this episode, guys. Leave a comment, let me know what you thought about it, and then tune in next week to see what the fallout of this is. How will Eric Eisen react to getting destroyed? Tune in next week to find out.